Hey everyone, Sheevaun Moran here, and every day I have so many ideas about how to get somebody out of their zone of stuck and chaos and confusion or wherever they're at in their world. And I asked Nick to come and really interrogate me a little bit about the 7 or so ideas and questions, 7 things that really stop us from having the greatest abundance and where we really create non-success, right? And where we quit on our success. Why, Nick? Because he asks good questions and makes me think of ways that are unique to get a solution for you. So he and I did a little prep work beforehand. Yep.
Handy little book.
And we've got these lined out, and your mission here is to maybe take notes. Your mission is to look inside of yourself and say, am I doing this? And is there something that I'm ready to take action on so they can stop doing this? And your mission at the end is to raise your hand, say, I want more, and to take another step. So I'm going to let you go ahead and start.
Well, without further ado, we can dive right into them. And we listed out 7 things that really stop people along the way. And the first one is thinking that where they are right now is where they're going to be in a year.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's really cool about GPS, because GPS has given us an ability to put in a pin, right? And it has to figure out where we are and then get us to our destination. But we as humans don't necessarily do that. We are like, I'm here, I have this amount of money, I have this amount of time, this amount of energy, and I can't.
Yeah.
I don't see it, it's impossible.
Yeah.
And the impossible is really I am possible, but we'll get off to that in another topic. But we get it stuck in our brain of, this is the only place I'm ever going to be. I'm never going to get out of this. There is no way beyond it. And I might as well just sit down and die. And really, I mean, that's kind of as far as our brain goes. It gets pretty dramatic.
Yeah, really, really quickly it does. And that's a really great way to just stop before you even get started.
Yeah.
Second one here is thinking that you have to do it all yourself. And another side of that is that you should already know.
Well, school has given us the ability to kind of think we need to have all of the answers. So did you ever have a teacher that was like hammering on you to be like, hurry up, get the answer, finish the test, hurry, quick. Ever have any of
I had a couple of those,
I did too. And
super stressful.
And it really shuts your brain down. It completes the ability for you to stop and shut up and have inability.
Well, what it did for me is I always felt like my brain would shut down, and then I'd feel like, oh, I'm so stupid.
Yeah.
And I'd go right down into that path, and then I was incapacitated by it.
Yeah, exactly. So we actually automatically hear those things. I'm stupid, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I don't think fast enough, I'm slow compared to Sally Jane over there, who just always has the answer on the top of her head. And so we really think we have to know it all, and we shouldn't ever have to ask for help or guidance.
Yeah.
We should be able to figure it out. I remember sitting at my dinner table with my books out, and my dad would say, and I remember this one time, my dad would say, just think on it. Just keep thinking on it. Like, really? You keep thinking on the problem, you're going to have more of the problem.
Yeah.
And it's only because he didn't know how to get me the answer.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, so we actually look within to make sure that we only use our own resources rather than going toward an expert, going toward somebody who's done it, or being in an environment of people who've already done what you want to do.
Right.
Yeah, we make ourselves wrong. Let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not do that. It's just super heavy. The third one here is starting and stopping and getting into all of the distractification. I think that's a word I coined. Distractification.
Okay, great, good word. So if you're distractifying, it means you have an idea, you start, and then something over here seems more good and more fun and more interesting, so you're going to go do that. Or maybe you got to go do laundry, or I was talking with somebody the other day, and they take 3 hours to do meal prep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And during the middle of the week, during their peak productivity time, rather than at another time. So really, that's a distractification.
Yeah.
That is putting a hole right into the balloon of a good idea that you have in order to achieve the result.
Yeah, yeah. And just to kind of tag on to that, something that I've seen is that there is an idea to do something like, it's not a bad idea to do your meal prep for a week, but it's like, oh, I have to do it, and it has to be at this time, even if you're in the flow of other things. It's like a great way to just kind of put the brakes on that, and then, oh, well, it's because I had to do this other thing.
Yeah, because then you're not actually using time to your benefit. So you actually get distracted and taken away from your ideal flow. And we teach that in Ignite.
Yeah. That brings us to number 4, is when you have the idea and then you think it should just already be done. Right?
I love that. I love hearing people who were like, but I should already have the book written. And it's like, that's really cool. You have no idea where your platform is, but you should have the book written, and you have no tribe, and you don't have anybody on your team to help you. Okay. Yeah, sure. If you want to just write something just to write it, great. And there's nothing wrong with that. But once you have an idea, you really want to nurture the idea and, step by step. I mean, you bake a cake and you have A, B, C. You have to do it in certain sequence in order to get the cake to rise, so it comes out of the oven fully formed. Yeah. So yeah, it is magical, but there are some steps, and we actually magically in our brain decide that we shouldn't have to do those.
Yes. Well, that brings us to a big one. And I think these ones that we've been talking about kind of culminate into this one, which is quitting. So number 5 is quitting.
So this is a big one. We quit in big ways and little ways. We quit on our dreams, our desires, our visions, our missions, our opportunities. We quit on people because it's complicated, because maybe there's a little conflict. We quit on ourselves because we don't want to do something a certain way.
Dig your heels in on that one.
Yeah. Maybe we aren't willing to do what it takes. We have the idea, but we're somewhere inside, we're quitting, and we're not really willing to do all of the bits and pieces that it takes, because it does take a unique human to step out of the blue collar mentality and really step into what they're here to do for themselves. So we have some tools for that.
Yeah, and that's a huge topic. I think we could do a whole 30 minutes on that, and then some. But it does need to be unwound in many different ways.
Right.
Yeah.
And so one of the things we talk about in one of my programs, Ignite, and some of the other ones, but is how to elegantly stop quitting when you're quitting. Because you don't even know. It's actually sometimes very insidious that you don't know you're quitting.
Yeah.
It seems like you're doing everything possible, and yet at the same time, not really doing what it takes.
Yeah.
The right things in the right direction will make sure you don't quit. The wrong things in the right direction actually help you quit.
Yeah.
You might be doing the wrong things.
And something I want to bring up around this one as a last thought on quitting is it's not just about motivation. So,
yeah, it's not like rah, more enthusiasm, go running, or just think through it, or manifest.
Yeah. Or all the other things.
Pray is great, but that's still, handing it over to someone and not taking responsibility for your results.
Yeah, another really insidious way of quitting.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the 6th one here, which is resentment, which I thought was kind of interesting for the list, but really appropriate.
Yeah. So one of the things that I have seen pretty much always in business is people get resentful that things aren't happening fast enough. They don't understand how to get something to work faster. They resent having to do it over again. They resent themselves for not being perfect or not having the correct answer. They resent money. They resent their partner. They resent their family or their friends, their loved ones, their community, the idea. They resent. There's so many resentments. And resentment is kind of like corrosion for your brain. So if you're a positive thinker, yeah, it's like putting acid on the positive thinking of your brain and putting holes into everything. And then you can't think clearly and you get in chaos and you end up making poor decisions or going on somebody else's success journey that isn't even meant for you. Yeah. So resentment actually takes you there.
This is one that I've seen a lot of people have a really difficult time owning.
Yeah.
Because they've done work on themselves. They know they've probably done some forgiveness work and things like that. And they're like, oh no, I'm done with that. I'm over that.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's many layers to it.
It is a big one to clean up. It's a very big one to clean up. And it actually creates more chaos in your business and creates more lack mentality and problems that cost you a lot of money. Yeah.
Big. Number 7, last one, entitlement.
Boy, this is a big one. We're smart. Every human is smart. Even if you have multiple degrees or whatever, every human is smart in their own unique way. And if we get too entitled, we actually create kind of a negative impact. So let's talk about this real quick. Entitlement would be treating others not so well. Really not paying attention to somebody who has a different point of view than you do.
Okay.
Really just bullying your way to get something done or through. And maybe you've achieved something and you just have this, I'm so entitled, you should just fall at my feet and really just come toward me because. And that is going to be one of the most difficult things. It's kind of like pride, right? It's one of the most difficult things that we end up with when going toward our zone of genius and success is after we've had some success, we get a little entitled maybe, and then we just throw everything away and everything crashes down, and then we get entitled that, well, why did that? And then it becomes a cycle of entitlement.
It seems like this is one that if you happen to be a really driven person, a really committed person, and also a smart person who's done some work, that this would be an easy trap to fall into.
It really is, and it is about learning a new way of succeeding. So that bypasses that genetic thing, particularly if you're really smart.
Yeah.
And that's something that is super important in all success models that virtually no one addresses.
Yeah, and this shows up in particular in the Ignite program right towards the beginning. It's not right out of the box, but it's right up towards the beginning. But it's a really major component for shifting everything else that follows that.
And that's when everybody will all of a sudden be like, boom, a whole bunch of dollars and new clients and new opportunities and programs come together and just like everything just falls in place because we clean that up.
But I couldn't possibly have that entitlement because I've worked so hard, right? But we hold on to it in such interesting ways.
Yeah, exactly.
And I thought this one was important to add maybe as a little bonus. Are you game for a bonus?
Yeah, sure.
Not asking for the sale.
Oh, yeah, man. So we think of a sale as something we're doing to somebody rather than something we're doing for somebody. And we don't even think of ourselves as we're selling to ourselves and doing something to us all the time, selling ourselves into or out of something moment in and moment out. And so we actually don't even ask for the proper sale. And, or we'll just sit there and think that they should just say yes because I've presented all this really cool stuff. I'm a really cool person. I'm beautiful. I'm smart. I'm fun. I'm educated. Whatever. I have the coolest program out there. And that goes back to the entitlement, really.
Right. They should just know.
Yeah, they should just know and just say yes. And the truth of the matter is, you have to ask for the sale. So asking for the sale in this kind of context would be like, if you want to do more and you're interested in getting beyond these pieces within you, then you have to reach out to us at author@sheevaunmoran.com and say, I'm interested in having a conversation. That's as simple as it goes. Yeah. So that's one way. But if you don't ask for the sale, then how can you have a business?
And you'd be surprised, having worked with a lot of people, when they talk through, okay, well, how did the conversation go? They want to bring more business in. They want to help more people and have more clients. And I'll ask them, well, how did it go? And then, well, we had an amazing conversation. And they described the conversation to me, and it's so amazing. And then I say, okay, well, what happened then? Did you ask for the sale? And it's like they just blanked on it.
Crickets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really, as 2-year-olds, we ask for what we want. Well, we become a little bit of a 2-year-old, right? If you want more, you have to ask. I have people who reach out to me in really, really interesting ways, and they really don't do what I teach is the elegant ask. And there's this beautiful, elegant ask way that you can get to that feeds your heart and feeds your soul and helps you stay conscious and in a conversation to a conclusion. And so, hey, if this inspires you, thanks for doing this. This is helpful. If this inspires you, we have something that I want you to look at. I want you to fill in this information. There's an application over here. Fill out the application. Just say you want to have a conversation, because everything always starts with a conversation, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And when a conversation is had, there is no obligation. The obligation is for you to show up and see if it's a fit for something that is even possible. That's it. And hey, the worst thing that happens, you have a breakthrough, and then you move about life and you have something really cool. Not a bad deal.
Not a bad deal at all.
Great. So there's an application here, and I would love for you to just jump into that and start the conversation. My name's Sheevaun Moran. And let's get you success the way you need, because there's more for you. And if you're here for a reason. Peace. See you soon.